Welcome to MomTalk LA. I'm Dr. Nelly, a mother and a licensed psychologist.
And I am Shahrzad, a mother and a performer. Today we're going to talk about how mothers can strike balance in today's society.
Well, it's interesting. Being a professional mother, it's been challenging, I have to say.
Yes.
Part of the balance for me has been, how do you manage your time? How do you spend quality time with your children, with your spouse, with your extended family members? Being Persian American, we have big extended families and always going to parties and hanging out with grandparents and aunties and uncles. It really is challenging being so plugged into having to check your emails and
from the morning that you wake up to, there's so many things you have to juggle. You have to think about, taking the kids to school, doing grocery shopping, cooking,
choosing the right foods.
Yes, well, of course. And then there are parents who have to work, obviously, which, outside of the home. Some of us work inside and some of us work outside who have help and nannies. But whatever you do, when you have children, you have a full schedule every day. And you cannot take a day off. So that can be a little taxing for many parents and moms. So we'd like to know, first of all, what is causing all this stress and how can we deal with it?
I think, the technology has definitely helped us in many ways. I carry my iPhone with me everywhere. I have apps that help me keep my daily schedule organized, and many moms that I know do as well. Mm-hmm. And so I think being a modern mom, you are more connected and utilizing technology, but at the same time, you're more plugged in and your energy is diverted into many different areas. And so managing your time and energy, and especially keeping it simple and staying unplugged with your kids, for me has been really the key to feeling bliss, happiness, and peaceful.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like, and I'm guilty of this, is that instead of communicating with our children, what happens is that each of us is on some kind of an electronic device. I may be on the computer checking out Facebook, and my child might be on the iPad, playing a game, and I just feel like we are sort of disconnected in a way, and it takes away from quality time that we could be spending together talking.
Speaking of connection and connecting to our media today, what are some of these messages that we're teaching our kids, or they're learning from the programs they're watching? I mean, you're a performer, you're a singer. What's your opinion on some of the lyrics we're listening to on the radio?
It makes me so uncomfortable. There's certain radio stations that I just will not be listening to with my daughter in the car, because I just cringe at the messages that it carries, and kind of violent and sexual and inappropriate, and yet I know a lot of my friends do allow their kids to listen to these songs every single day in the car while they're going to school. I think we need to be aware of that.
And Common Sense Media is a place where you can go as a parent to get advice and help and choosing the right programs for your family.
Is that a website?
It's a website, Common Sense Media. Oh. And you can get involved in your community. You can not only give your opinion and have a voice, but you can get nice feedback and guidance from professionals and people who care and who are concerned about the material that is, that our children are exposed to.
Yes.
I oftentimes sit down with my kids when they're watching a superhero show or a princess show, and we talk about some of those messages, and I challenge them. Mm-hmm. I think today's society or modern families are faced with this huge responsibility. As a conscious parent, we want to raise critical thinkers. Yes. And to raise a critical thinker, you got to engage in dialogues. You got to push those, limits and push the envelope and ask them questions like, so what do you think? Why is Batman beating up on another being, even though they're villains and heroes?
Also, why is there so much relational aggression between Cinderella and her stepsisters and stepmom?
Tell me about that.
I mean, we talked about it in the other episode about relational aggression, but now this is a pure example of how people can treat each other so badly, you know. And yeah, there are many things that the media, unfortunately, teaches the children that I think it's unavoidable. I mean, we cannot ban TV. I mean, some parents may, but you know, we're living in you know, in this world, and TV and computers are a part of it. But having a discussion and asking questions and, you know, giving your opinions, those certainly help.
Yeah, and I'm so glad so many producers and writers now are making conscious, socially responsible choices.
Kudos to them, really.
Yes, absolutely. And those programs are wonderful.
Yeah.
There's a new show on PBS that my kids love to watch. It's Super Why, and if you've watched
Yes.
it, it's fantastic. It's integrated, multicultural, you know, raising children who are compassionate, who are confident, they're good readers, and all around, it's a socially responsible program that I love watching it with my kids.
Well, Dr. Nelly, getting back to the whole juggling responsibility of the children and also taking care of yourself as a mom, how much should we say, okay, as a mom, I'm entitled to time to myself, to take care of my hair and to go shopping for clothing, but I mean, how much is too much?
That's really a personal choice based on every individual and family. I think you will find different numbers, and you really got to go with your child's responsiveness. I think when mothers or parents prioritize their children's needs and they're concerned and focused on the peace learning and how to raise peaceable kids.
Yes.
I think that becomes a guiding light in deciding those numbers. In a family where children are on a schedule and you can take a few hours here and there and running errands or getting a workout session in and working a few hours here and there, it's perfectly fine to create that schedule for yourself.
Okay.
But there's some families when you do that and you notice a child is really missing that bond, the connection.
Special time with.
So
yeah.
if you're attuned to your child, you'll know when to give more, when to pull back, when to readjust. I think flexibility becomes a key solution to your decisions.
That's
and
right.
how you make choices and healthy choices.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I do have that problem sometimes where I think to myself, okay, am I spending too much on myself? Should I be spending this me time with my children? And so I do feel guilty at times.
I do too, all the time.
I think moms just feel guilty.
I think once you
all the
become a
time,
parent, you enter that guilt zone,
Yeah.
and you never leave it.
But we keep talking about these issues, and somehow maybe we can find some solutions in these conversations. Who
After
knows?
all, it's not peaceful if you don't come up with solutions. Absolutely. So using your iPhone or a digital organizer, I think, is a good way to keep an organized schedule, but maintaining flexibility, engaging, integrating. The integration of right-left brain is what scientists like Daniel Siegel talk about. That is what gives us the feeling of bliss and peacefulness. And so by integrating the right and left, you're bringing art, music, culture, all those things that are so important to our daily livings, and combining it with critical thinking and language and reading together and raising children who experience a well-balanced environment.
And we're going to talk about that a little more in a different segment, about how to bring arts and sciences together and to have a whole life, holistic experience. But I think that we should leave that for the next episode. And for now,
Sounds good.
yes, we wish you well. Please tune in next time.
Stay safe and peace.